Last time in Polymorph Self, the true chronicle of adventure and skullduggery by Master Sorcerer, Scholar, and people's favourite Onas Ondiri. Seyda shrugged off a rather overhyped death touch and promptly decapitated the evil cleric who'd administered it. After dispatching the remaining hobgoblins, the team searched the camp. The learned Onas Ondiri recovered a book on the mystical subject of anti-theophany, while the more base-minded Hjani made a beeline for a bondage kit. Despite having been such a killjoy about the ornithopter earlier in the adventure, Seyda literally got into the flying machine. Onas used his magical intuition to discover the mystical gem that powered the machine, but after some furious rubbing and tugging, they realized they had no idea how to work it. Bjorn then got a nose full of potent poppy fumes, which immediately rendered him a drug-addled loon. Hjani secured Bjorn for the night using her bondage kit, although he seemed strangely adept at escaping such tight bounds, even in an inebriated state. Onas spent a much more scholarly night learning about the evil church of anti-theophany, and their worship of the void. The next day, Bjorn tried to remove the ornithopter's power diamond, but all he felt was a little prick, which he gave a squeeze. Bjorn and Onas pored over an unintelligible marking on a map before Seyda realized it was a simplistic human code marking a town to the northeast called Mission Adherent, which was in the same direction as some tracks leading from the site of the ornithopter.
So this is marking, according to the markings, there's a town there called Mission Adherent.
Okay, so I guess while you two guys are turning the map upside down and just look over your shoulder and go, oh, Mission Adherent.
Huh?
That's what this town is called. There's a town up there called Mission Adherent.
How do you know?
It says it.
But this is a complex, ancient script that, how could you possibly know that?
It's the code. We use it all the time on the planes.
Oh, it's a human code.
It's a human thing.
Well, of course, we didn't understand it, because it's a human code.
I didn't even try.
Say that name again, dummy.
No.
Go on. We softened it up for you.
You know,
it's like a cask of pickles. Usually somebody can't open the cask of pickles and they hand it to you and you open it up and you just, I softened it up for you.
That's exactly how it works with words.
So it's mission adjacent.
Yeah.
The barbarian is good at opening up casks of pickles, too, though.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying is you had two real smarties, two real smart guys do it.
So where are we
Real
heading,
smart
guys? Where are you heading next?
Well, whoever broke out of this place went north. This place is northeast.
The tracks are visible for you to follow, heading north
Shall
through
we
the
check
mire.
out Lookout first and then head to the...
Hey, can I ask Bjorn something? I'm going to ask you something, Bjorn. You saw those tracks, and there was like some hobgoblins, and there was some other kind of person amongst them. Did it look like that person was being dragged against their own will, or frog marched away?
Oh, you did make excellent checks, so you did discern that their steps were sort of more closer together and careful, with the heels dug in, as if they were sort of having to keep balance, yes. Or they were bound or being dragged, or like they were walking, but they were,
So I think
awkward.
we can assume maybe that the pilot of the ornithopter is a person who's been taken away, because otherwise, and the other guys who are here couldn't work out how to fly it, and that's why it's where it is.
Very clever.
Yeah. See what I did.
Okay, let's follow these tracks out of this camp and just see which way they end up taking us. Is it to Lookout, which we have learned is the cleft of one of these vaginas, or is it to Mission Adjacent, or elsewhere?
Let's find out. So you follow the tracks as the morning wears on, and it turns northeast and seems to be taking you in the direction of the edge of the next high ground, which is marked Lookout on your map. And you emerge from the mire and onto the windswept moor once more. On your right to the east, the land rises up to a series of crags and rocky hills, topped by the now familiar tors. The sky is shot through with black clouds. In the distance there is a clap of thunder. You listen to it echo across the moor, bouncing between the rocky outcrops and high ground. You steady yourself as you walk across the sloping and uneven ground. Then the rain begins. First a couple of drops, but soon a sheet of drizzle wets your faces, the wind carrying it over the moor. Now, you march on until lunchtime, and the high ground and the rise to the east is it's coming up to view. and you're off to the side of the marshes on this heath, getting higher and higher and higher. You start to come up level with what's marked lookout, which now you can see clearly is like where there's a kind of escarpment again, but not too big, like a sort of a scooped out sort of cliff line. And there's sort of like a tabletop on top of it. And the light's fading as the evening's coming on, but you do see some twinkling up there, like, light from a fire or another hut as you approach. And you've still got a couple of hours before you'll just have to stop because of low light. But you can definitely reach it before the day is done. So you've basically spent the rest of this whole day, marching about sort of like 15 miles to this point, and you just reach it. And it's sort of like cold wind and it's sort of raining now.
Do you guys think we should wait until nightfall and approach?
I think so, because its name, Lookout, suggests there might be people up there who will be looking out and would see us approach during daytime. So let's do that.
On the other side, it was a little hut full of hobgoblins, so I think it's probably the same thing here.
Okay.
You're probably correct.
Let's go up.
Okay, so you wait until it goes a little bit darker. Not so much that you would struggle to find a way up dangerously, but until you're definitely going to be covered, they wouldn't see you from up there. And as you get a bit closer, you see that there is definitely a sort of a campfire lit up on the edge of this cliff. Now, as you approach the bottom of it, it's not like a sheer cliff you'd have to climb. It's more like a steep slope that you could scramble up. You notice two sort of long, dark shapes lying prone at the bottom of the cliff. You get a bit closer, and you see two dead hobgoblins who have been killed in battle sometime recently. And from the top of the cliff, you hear singing in a minor morose key in elven language.
I think we know who it is.
Oh, good. We found the princess. Oh.
Oh, God. All right.
Let's rifle through the hobgoblin belongings.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm rifling through the hobgoblin belongings. It's just a habit.
They appear to have been stripped of their belongings. No weapons, no belt pouches, only their sort of rent, destroyed armor.
We should probably try and sneak up on this person that's singing.
Yeah,
let's do it.
close
Let's
the distance
send.
quietly.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, all of you are going to sneak up? Or?
Well, how can we tell how far away this singing is?
Well, it's about like a sort of a hand and feet sort of careful
Okay.
nudge up the slope for about 10 minutes.
Shall I?
Yes,
You go
off you
first.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
Before I do, though, I'm assuming that this... I took 8 of the non-lethal damage.
That's
in the
gone
last-
now then.
Okay, so I'm back to 15.
With your maximum is up by 10 though currently. It still hasn't worn
God.
off.
Oh, so the subdue damage doesn't stay?
No. Oh, if the fight's over and they failed to subdue you, that damage is gone. Sorry.
Okay.
No, you should have made that more clear.
Okay. I'm gonna silently move my way up the escarpment
Okay.
with the purpose of just seeing what's going on.
DC 15.
Yep.
And you have...
My move silently is +8.
Go for it.
It's 6 plus 8 is
14.
a 14.
A 14. Okay. You move carefully up the slope, but just as you approach the top, your feet sort of knock loose a couple of rocks which go bouncing back down the slope. And you stop and you listen and you sort of peek over the top and you see the people around the campfire looking around. What you see are 5 people. One of them is clearly the leader. He's a tall, lithe elven warrior with great high cheekbones, pale skin, a flowing black cape. He has all the classic features of Catherine Winterell's, flowing black hair that falls around his shoulders, pale skin, dark eyes. He has several features that make him stand out. He appears to be wearing black theatrical makeup around his eyes. One ear is heavily pierced, and he sports a headband. Oh. He also has a chainmail shirt over the usual black leathers. Looking around, you see that the 4 people with him are wearing the cloaks, as you are, of the elven rangers. 3 are elven, 1 is human. Bjorn, you immediately clock that the human is the boatman's son, who you previously took on a mission to the Blood Poppy encampment. The meat shield who you talked to, who was 1 day away from retirement or whatever, you know. And you see that he's together with this sort of gothy yet charismatic looking elven fighter. And you see that he has also kind of grown his hair out a bit, is also wearing black eyeliner and a headband. And then you focus and look at all of them, and you see that all of this guy's followers seem to be not only sporting his style, but like really, hanging on his every look. He sort of whips around and looks in your direction. What was that? And they all sort of like look around as well. They all seem to be almost like mimicking him in a way. And then you hold still. Then they look back to the campfire and start singing this kind of morose, depressing, gothy sounding song. An elven dirge. That's everything that you see.
Okay. Shall I sneak my way back down, or shall I just go back down and report what I've seen?
You'd have to sneak back down not to get another noise, yeah.
All right. I will sneak back down, or move silently back down, which is, again, I never remember anything. +8. It's 14 +8. Yeah.
Okay, you return to the group silently without arousing further suspicion.
What foul creatures did you find up there?
All right. Boatman's son's up there.
Oh.
He's changed his look. There are 5 guys, including Boatman's son, and an elven warrior. Stylish dude.
So you
The
found
other
the
team.
new party, the other party. The new party. The other party.
Yes, that's it.
A goth party.
The Goth party.
Ah.
That's
Yeah.
who it was. Okay.
So there is no princess then.
No.
Ugh. All
But they're
right.
taking care of the lookout for us. I believe we could just go up and say ahoy hoy.
Yeah, let's
All
go
right,
up
sure.
and
Say
find
hi.
out what they've been doing.
Put on cloaks on and everything.
Okay, you reverse your cloaks to the white uniform sign. Display your pins. You scramble up, and as they turn around to see who's coming, you present yourselves, and they
Hello.
and the tall, stylish yet gothy black eyeliner wearing one just gives the calm down, hands waving
Gonna
sign to the
subtly
others.
try and get the goblin goo off me.
And he says, approach, friends, for I am Nicholas Tress of the 5th Ranger Regiment out of Lenake Reka. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Yeah,
Perhaps
Nick
you've-
Trass.
Perhaps you've heard one of my poems. If you are familiar with the human quarter, I'm often around there regaling people with the truth, which is that the universe is a dark, cold, empty place, and our life is ultimately short
Don't I
and
know
absurd.
it?
I think I recognize you. Are you Hjani the archer?
Yes, that's me.
You are also of fame, but let me tell you, fame, like life, is but a transient quality that will depart you upon death and not be around anymore, like a fleeting spark in a vast dark
Jesus.
universe.
What news? What news, Nicholas Trass in the 5th?
We have sent 2 hobgoblin lookouts to meet their maker. That is,
We saw the dead hobgoblin.
into the cosmos, because there is no maker, only the cruel random chaos of swirling particles of energy.
All right, I'm gonna roll my eyes at that, at all of that.
He seems utterly unaware of anything other than that this is amazing. No matter what looks you give, right? No matter what eye rolling you do, no matter what the reactions, he just comes across as like ultimately deadpan serious, confident in what he's saying is amazing.
The cheekbones drew me in, but the poetry pushed me away.
So the hobgoblins that you killed, they weren't carrying anything or anything like that? How did you guys make it up here, by the way?
We headed for the hell pits. And then I saw that
I hear they're nice this time of year.
yes, and unfortunately I saw that insufferable show-off, Hjani Kitu and her party sort of trolling around there, but she didn't see us because we were far too skillful, so we struck west up to Tor Lumi in the center of this district, and we cut across the rocks, but it was a hard climb which slowed us down, and about 8 hours hence we came down the other side, coincidentally taking these lookouts from their flank, and we decided to camp here for the night. I'm afraid we have not made much progress. All we saw that was a great waterfall on the north side of this high ground.
All right, and your search for the ornithopter has turned up nothing?
So far, these 2 measly guards are all we've come across. It seems that, yet again, I stared despair and failure in the face, and it stares back at me because the abyss also gazes.
And you didn't speak to Hjani,
Hjani. Don't get them mixed up.
There is only one thing I find worse than talking to the insufferable Hjani Kitu, and that is talking to oneself on a dark night with no stars in the sky, and only comforting thought being that death will once will envelope us all in the future. Sorry?
Do you have any healing potions we could borrow?
Yes, I do.
Could I have some?
I have 2 regular vials of healing potion. Who is injured amongst you?
I'm a little bit injured.
I will hand over this potion to you, fine barbarian. However, you might also consider embracing the cold, welcoming grip of death, because it shall come to us all one day.
I already got touched by a weird priest. I'll just take the potion, thank you.
This is an experience which many of us share. Let me, here you are. He hands you the potion, and it's a regular, like, cure light wounds magical potion, which is 1d8 plus 1 back when you drink it.
I'm gonna drink it.
How much damage do you have?
I have, my total is 36. I'm at 22 right now.
Okay, so roll the dice.
Is this an 8?
That is the d8.
That's a 7 plus 1 is... No, that's a 2. These numbers are...
So, well, as I stated before, we are going to disregard always 1s, but 2 in this case, so carry on. Re-roll that. This is good shit. You can re-roll it.
That's a 4. 4 plus 1 is 5.
Okay, 5 points back.
Okay.
I have one more. Who else is in need of who else is suffering? But, of course, a stupid question, for we all are suffering. But
I'll take it.
Okay, here you are, sir.
Guys, who needs it? Anybody?
I do not need it.
Taken any.
My only suffering is mental right now.
I'm still a little bit down.
I feel your pain here.
Hey,
Maybe I need to get up to full strength.
I toss Seyda the thing, the potion.
I'm going to take another one just to try and get back up to you.
Okay.
That's a 4 again.
That's another 5 points. So you're back to maximum hit points, are you?
No, I'm at 32.
32 out of 36, okay. In the background, the boatman's son guy has recognized you, except you're all staring at him because he's wearing black eyeliner, he's got some ear piercings, he's wearing his hair long in the elven style, and he's sort of waving at you like, it's me.
Oh, how cute. Mothering instincts.
Hi guys, do you remember me?
Yeah, you're the boatman's son.
Yeah, I joined this new party, the Nicholas Tress here. He took me under his wing and I've joined his crack team.
Whoa,
Wait.
Whoa. We're the crack team on the scene. Yep, I rhymed it.
Well, I'm in this team anyway, and check this out. Nicholas here has given me a new name, an elven name, Epato Evo, which means despair. Isn't that cool?
Okay.
Ah, the youth.
What do you want from me, kid? I don't...
I'm just saying hi, I'm pleased to see you guys. Hey, I'm still alive.
That is good.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly happy to hear that.
We're glad you're alive too.
Yeah.
Where'd you get your threads from?
Isn't it cool? Look, we all have these high-quality longswords, this high-quality leather armor, these black cloaks, and this wonderful get-up, and they were all laid on for free by Mr. Tress here. And Nicholas Tress turns around and says, yes, everyone in my crew must be properly equipped to face the forces of darkness. The forces that can be beat in mortal combat, of course. For one day, we must always face the true darkness, and we cannot overcome. Life is a sick game in
Nicholas,
which we all
take you
lose
aside.
at the end.
Come over here. I think your wonderful poetic sensibilities are, I say this as an aside, quite frankly wasted on this lot. Let me just bring you over here. Maybe they can go and sit by the fire, or catch up with the boatman. I can just take you aside.
What is your name, sir?
One poet to another. I'm
What is your name,
Onas
sir?
Undiri.
Onas, from one winter elf to another, I just want to tell you, I sense you. I sense you right now, and you have to let go of your ego, because it is only a transient quality that will
That's all very
not
good,
go with you when you return to
go
the
over here.
void
I've
one
got
day.
something you might be interested in. Have you ever-
Embrace emptiness.
Oh,
Okay?
I will.
Embrace emptiness. And he just sort of turns around, blanks you, and walks off back to the campfire.
Oh, really?
Rudely.
Well,
You're
in
not
that
doing very
case,
well with these
with my
mythic
charming,
elves.
my charming ways. He blanked me. What should we do then?
Well, okay. I wanted to ask Nicholas Tress and Party if they've done any little survival checks around here to see if there's any anything?
Hello, I am Nicholas Trask. Ask me any question you like. It doesn't matter because it's all futile anyway. But I will do my best to answer.
That's great. Have you seen... did anything about this lookout point stand out to you besides the 2 ogres that are now dead? Or ogres?
Hobgoblins
that are now dead.
Plenty of tracks heading northwards to... it seems like they want to join up with the course of the river that we have marked here, but we haven't checked it out yet.
That's great. I think that determines where we should go next, then.
Do you have extra information?
What the hell out of here?
What information? You share your information with us.
Okay,
What's down there?
Here's what we're doing. Gonna roll a bluff real quick.
You're gonna roll a bluff. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you roll a bluff, if you succeed, whatever shit you say,
Yeah.
I take it. Now, bluff has to go against his sense motive, right?
All right, well, I've got a...
And what's funny is, sense motive is a kind of weak spot of his because of his disposition. He's utterly... No, he's just so self-absorbed. He just doesn't notice what other people are really doing. It's a weak spot. He has -1 to his sense motive, okay?
Okay.
So he rolls a 4 -1 is 3. So you have to beat 3. And what's your bluff skill?
+4.
So you can't fail, basically. Roll the dice.
Let's see what happens. 1. Oh.
But I did say you can't fail. It's 1 plus. It's not a hit roll. I'm going to allow it. Yes, so share your information with us, sir.
Actually, we were sent ahead to find you and tell you that Hjani Kidu's already found the ornithopter and Arpitani back in the wolf country.
Really?
We were sent ahead to find you guys.
Are you sure? That sounds strange. I came through wolf country. We saw no tracks.
I know we didn't see it either on our way through, but when we caught up with them, they told us that they saw something they were going to investigate.
So you found us now. So we sleep here tonight, and then we all return to Linake Raka tomorrow morning.
No, of course. We're being sent ahead on a terribly uninteresting mission of just finding deserters, bringing them back. So that's why we just want to know if it seemed like anybody passed through here, if you saw any tracks, anything.
Yeah, as I said, the hobgoblin tracks lead to the north.
Cool. All right.
To the north, to the northeast. Sort of seems to be heading round to where the waterfall I described in the river runs out of the highlands.
Okay. We can all just sleep here tonight, right, by the fire?
Sure. I want to try asking Nicholas something else. I'm going to say...
Oh, so you reapproach him, he turns around.
Yes. This might be in your wheelhouse. You know about dark clerics and the death cult and something called anti-theophany.
No, I've not heard of such thing, but anti-theophany. You mean like the manifestation of the void on the material plane? That's I think you've given me inspiration for a new epic poem. I feel like I get
what
at
have
least
I done?
Thanks, Onas.
5,000 words out of this. I must wait. I must sleep soon, and the firelight is limited. I must to my quill, to my ink, to my scroll. This idea, the void manifesting itself to man on the material plane, eating up his very world before his time is due.
Go do it.
Wow,
I've already fallen asleep.
That's the second little prick of the day, I think. It's...
Hey.
Sure. By the way, just for the record, he's tall and broad and a formidable-looking fighter.
Oh, but he's a little prick.
Apart from all his get-up, yeah. Theoretically, yeah. In essence.
In essence.
Although I shouldn't say that, actually. It's a DM. I think he's really cool. And he looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, you love all your characters.
I do. He's awesome.
Okay, I don't know if you guys want to question the...
Well, the others settle down to...
question the other guys, but...
Good job, Hanna. Good job.
Guys, they are all settling down to go to sleep, but you do have an in with the human former meat shield, now named Ipato Ivo, who is still looking all kind of pleased to see you, and you could get 1 or 2 questions in with him before sleep if that's what you wanted to do. Who would like to try that?
I think it should be Seyda.
Too late, I'm already sleeping.
Yeah, Hjani's already just gone at the sound of Onas and Nicholas Trask having a conversation.
I just want to pinch his cheeks.
The most boring thing in the world.
Seyda, barbarian Seyda. Seyda the Decapitator, they call you
That's
now.
me. What have you been up to since we last saw you?
Well, I was back in the town, and I was going to return to Emise Raka to work on the boats for a break, but then all that stuff broke loose with Prince Callus Whiteblade, the beheadings. I got pulled in by my duty officer and they said, nope, you got to stay. No holidays. Everyone's got jobs to do now. All the holidays are cancelled. No leave. And I hung around the Guildmaster's house and I saw Nicholas Trass, the legendary fighter of the Wrecker, of Novum blood, yet he rejects their ways and wants a real experience in the human quarter. I was really impressed by one of his poems. Somebody told me once, and then I approached him, and he let me on his team, and he gave me this sword, and I feel like I got a new lease on life. I've made it.
That's nice. Good.
We need to get out of here with some kind of gothic poetry
We
slam
either
or
run
something.
into things that want to kill us or people that just are fucking dicks.
Bill, or whatever your new name is.
My name, I was called Micah, remember? My name now is Epato Ivo, which means despair in Elven. By the way, all elves here, and half-elf, you do know that is a sort of formal, poetic, fairly pretentious, flowery word for looking into the abyss and feeling only despair. It's quite common, because, by the way, can I just mention, introspection and gothy weird poetry about existential poetry is actually like really big in Cacathra with elven nobles. Although not normally, quite as bad as this guy, but it's a thing. But for you, Seyda, it's not a thing culturally. So sorry, continue. Oh, yes.
Okay. You look like you're having a good time with Nicholas here. If you get back to town, if you ever want to meet up with us, leave us a message at the Polo Polo.
The Polo Polo.
The Polo
okay.
Polo.
But I feel I hope that will happen one day, but I feel we will have many adventures together now with Nicholas Trass, although I fear that one day that adventure may end in the ultimate end.
Oh, Micah.
Well, have fun in Wolf Country.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of ponies there.
Do I have... Oh, I can...
Give him something.
Yeah.
Night falls. Yeah, and the fires are burning and everyone has gone to sleep, including you guys. The meat shields of Nicholas Trass, the gothy meat shields, are taking watches. Would any of you guys like to take watches too, or are you happy with the current situation?
Nah, I'm fine.
We can handle it.
I fell asleep
Let's have
already,
sleep.
so...
Yeah, Hjani's been asleep for like 10,
Yeah.
like 10 minutes game time, but like an hour like in-game time, so to speak. So, okay, you all go to sleep and you wake up the next morning. And let me check something. Okay, you wake up the next morning and something really interesting has happened. Everyone has gone already before you woke up.
Mm-hmm. Can I use my... Sorry, is it survival skill to check? I want to check.
To check tracks,
so
yeah,
which
it's a
way-
bit, but
which
here's
way
the
they've gone.
thing. It's rocky, higher ground here, so it's DC 20.
Ugh.
What's your survival?
My wisdom, so it's +1.
Well, you can give it a go.
The barbarian's good at survival, too.
I have a +5 to survival.
Go on.
Okay.
Okay, you hand off to Seyda on this difficult terrain.
That's a 20.
Wow.
You
You see
search
their
around. Yeah, you search around, and you can see quite clearly that they headed back up the high ground towards the Tors, seemingly eastwards. Yeah.
Okay, so they look like they're taking your bluff. This is good.
Took the bait.
Okay.
I'm a little sad that Micah didn't even wake us up to say goodbye.
I wanted to give him some
Well,
rations.
can
I
I
don't think
look
they're
around
feeding
for a
them
note?
properly.
There are no notes, but you do find a discarded first draft of something Nicholas Trass was writing.
We need some toilet paper. Let's just take it.
Okay,
with us.
take it. Yeah,
we
take
need
it.
you read it to us as
Don't
we
even
walk.
look at it.
Let's laugh.
Okay, back down at the bottom of the cliff, the tracks do continue in the same direction
Great.
that they were. And it's going to, you estimate, to get to where, the broken bridge or mission adherent is on the map, it's going to take you pretty much,
Adjacent.
2/3 of a day. So you'll still have, you'll just be like as usual. You'll arrive there and there'll be fading light, but you'll be able to get a look at the place. Okay. Coming on to lunchtime, but halfway through your march across, skirting the high ground and keeping above the section to the west where it descends into the mires, you hear a strange noise echoing across the skies. And it's been light raining still and stormy clouds, and it sounds like a high-pitched screech that echoes all over. You sort of take to some bushes in the gorse, and you look up and you wait. And 5 minutes later, high up in the sky, you see what looks like, at first, a huge white bird. Then it gets closer, and it almost passes right over your head. And it seems to be some form of flying lizard, what you imagine a dragon might look like. It seems to be bone white. It's quite high up in the sky. It keeps making these reptilian screeches, and you can just make out somebody's riding it. And it kind of wheels around, not over you, but what you imagine to be the Tors to the west at the peak of Tor Lumi on your map. And then it sort of heads off eastwards, again high in the sky. And you wait for another 5 minutes, the sounds subside, and now there's only the sound of the drizzle, the wind sort of rustling the scrub and brush of the heath.
What the fuck was that?
Micah had a good sword.
Oh.
Yeah, it's heading straight for them.
Oh, God.
Was that
It
the
looks like they're
dragon?
going to find the void pretty quickly.
Now you've all never seen, and in living memory, there's been no dragons sort of flew over or attacking your civilization, but the white dragon is part of your childhood stories and legends as the Great Wood, which is in winter for like a full 7 months of snow. White dragons are the sort of dragons of legend, and what you know of them is that they are evil in nature and borderline sort of like feral wild animals, basically. And it would be, even in stories, it would be very rare to see somebody riding one.
Yeah, so not only do dragons exist, but we could ride them.
Did someone maybe slip us some of that poppy juice during the night? I mean, collective hallucination.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
These guys seeing dragons seems normal. Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, guys.
Well,
It seems
You can
safe to
ride
go
a
on now
dragon.
anyway.
yeah, let's keep going.
Jesus.
Okay. You continue, and after a couple more hours of marching, you've come around to the north of the Tor, and here's what you see. The landscape slopes steeply down in front of you. The mists clear and the rain stops. A wide vista presents itself. An icy blue river emerges from up in the rocky highlands behind you and flows down the slopes rapidly before evening out. It runs alongside a sprawling heath of brown and lilac grass. The right-hand side of the view to the east is filled with a silvery forest. The trees look widely spaced and the bark is white and silver. Most of the leaves have fallen for the winter. In the centre of this view, perhaps 4 or 5 miles north along the river, you can see a dark cluster of indistinct buildings and smoke trails rising into the sky. There seems to be a small town down there, a town completely unknown to Cacathra, and yet somewhere not more than around 80 miles from the northern border.
Wow.
So there's your confirmation there is some sort of a settlement down there.
So there is some sort of a settlement down there.
I told you guys.
That wasn't just dumb luck.
Does that mean it's a human settlement then? Because the human understood it?
I don't know. The human, that is written in human writing, so, and in code, so yeah, it must be something the humans were trying to hide from the elves, which I think's illegal, isn't it?
Well, we are beyond a certain...
Yeah.
Well,
location.
it's kind of annoying.
It is
Really.
annoying,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't know about the legality of it, but it is annoying.
I think we should go and investigate.
That wasn't of agreement.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Well, you can, it says a couple miles off, but you can probably get down there just as light is fading, which I know it seems like that happens every time, but I've got a map
Happens
with
every
accurate...
day, actually.
It does, yeah. I've got a map which has got distances on it and stuff, and that is about what
Everything's a
would
day
happen.
away.
We
So,
believe you.
yeah.
We believe you.
Good.
be
You're
weird if
looking
it
looking
did
at
get
me
dark.
like you don't.
You have no choice. You wrote it all down.
Okay. Let's continue. So, 2 hours later of you marching down this gradual slope, which is coming down from the highlands and returning to the sort of more, more vegetated, that's the wrong word, isn't it? The more which has more shrubs and trees and growth on it.
I
It's,
think vegetated is okay.
Verdant. It's
Yeah,
more verdant.
verdant,
Verdant.
yeah.
Verdant.
Okay, you get down there and you get within sort of spying distance of this town, just as they're like lighting their fires and their lamps. And what you see is it's actually quite a small town, more like a settlement. There is, next to the river, a cluster of wooden buildings, like cabins that have been, built with some stone and some wood, which has been stained like black and with silvery bits sort of shining through. And they're centered around a large stone temple of a design of which you're not familiar with. It's not like very elaborate, but you're not like the decoration, the style of it, you're not familiar with. And then on the west side of the town, it seems to be like a tent encampment, of at least like 30 or 40 marquee tents, which are all black with that white cross on, just like the tabards. So there's a small sort of mini town, a tent encampment, and then beyond it to the north, you see something very strange. A third area of this settlement appears to be a really large sort of like wagon circle. So it's like carts which have like coverings and tarpaulin on it that are sort of arranged in a circle with some sort of large fire being lit and lots of activity in the middle. And it's far away, but it looks like some of the carts seem to have like cages or contraptions on the back of them as well, and a lot of horses down there. So there's a small town of buildings based around this temple, which seems big enough that like say 100 people would live there. Then there's this tent encampment looks like 30 or 40 military tents with the same insignia you saw on the cleric, and out the back, and you're sort of like on a sort of like a ridge of the gorse, hiding behind some shrubs, sort of all lying down, basically sort of staring down at it down a slope. And then there's this weird sort of like ring of carts, some of which are covered, some of which have, it's kind of a little bit too far away to see and the light's fading, but cages and a big fire in the middle and lots of activity, like 3 areas. You also see that there's a very distinct, clear, wide sort of dugout and covered proper road leading out of it, heading due west as well.
Is that the old King's Road by any chance?
What happened with the tracks that we were following?
They've led you right up to this point.
Here, so we have still been following.
Also,
them.
last point, you can see people walking around. They seem to be a mix of humans and hobgoblins.
Half human, half hobgoblin?
You can see some hobgoblins and some humans. All the humans are wearing those like tabards, but not like heavily armored.
Okay.
They don't look. I mean, it's kind of, again, you can just see them like sort of like 3-inch big figures down there, but they're all wearing black, and some of them have the white cross. But you don't see anyone sort of like in the full armor or anything.
And the people
like that.
with the white, they're wandering around in the.
They're humans. They seem to be doing normal town type things. There's a guy like lighting lamps with a candle. There's people carrying water pails. I don't know, Colin, what did I say?
Normal town stuff.
Normal town type stuff in medieval towns.
Real city stuff.
Yeah.
Someone worshipping the void in the middle of the.
Extra, void are coming.
Anyway, this is a big surprise to you guys that there's anybody living out here at all. This is unknown to your civilization. And as you know from your visit to Luna Nami, no one has bothered doing ranging for like years. So this has all been going on, unawares. Sorry,
this
Seyda.
Black and silvery stone, is it similar to the stone that's used to build the guard towers, the watchtowers back in town?
It's not. I was actually talking about the wood that it's made out of, and it seems to be from the sort of silvery forest next to it, but it's been stained partially black, Oh.
Yeah.
They love black. Well, I don't know. After all your track record in sneaking recently, maybe it's best for you to not sneak down there, because you might get unsnuck.
Well, the light is fading,
as we've heard. I don't know. Just wait until tomorrow, or what? You guys want to set up a camp, or
we can wait until nighttime and then go and have.
That works too. See, that's why sneaking has been working well for me. Hey, you guys want me to light a torch? Yeah. Okay. Let us wait for it to get dark, and
what are you going to be sneaking in there to try to find?
Just see what's going on.
I think we should check out that wagon thing.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to check. Do you guys want to sneak with me?
Yeah, I think we should all go and sneak.
Let's all get as close as we can.
Well, you could skirt the town on the west side, which is not against the river, keeping into the sort of the wilderness, using the lights of the town to navigate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
That sounds like a good idea.
To try and attain the northern side. So what I'm going to do is to see if you bump into, and I don't mean your ruse, but see if you come across any wandering sentries or guards or anything. I'll just roll the sort of wandering monsters check, which is a D6, And if a 6 comes up, there might be someone lurking out there. If not, you successfully get around, and I'll describe the weird setup on the other side. So, Bjorn, can you roll a d6 for me, and we'll just do it out in the open there.
Can I get a d6? That's a 5.
Okay, so keeping near enough to the town that you can use its sort of light to pinpoint your way and not sort of get lost in a bog or a cleft in the moor.
Those town clefts.
Yeah, that's right.
We know that this map has a lot of clefts.
But keeping far enough away that you manage to evade any potential, sentries or people looking out. You maneuver yourself all around. It takes you about like half an hour, right, around this town until you're on the north side, looking in. And what you see is this appears to be some sort of like a carnival, a sideshow. It's like a very weird entourage of things. Some of these wagons are covered, and there appear to be like people sort of sitting on them, relaxing. And there's a big fire in the middle, and you see a lot of these, like about half of these wagons, of which you count about like 25, 26. It's like you can't see every one of them, but half of them have like just big steel cages sort of on the back, sort of taking up all the area and big enough to keep like large animals or people in. And you see that a couple of them are open, but most of them are closed with humanoid figures in them. And getting a closer look inside, you see a lot of these people with those robes, right? And they're all standing around the fire. Some people are talking, and one person stands out. In the middle, talking to them all, is a guy wearing one of these tabards and robes, but he's taller than the rest, and his head appears to be completely encased in a sort of helmet which basically, like clasps together like a mask and covers his entire head, apart from eye holes and mouth holes. And it's a helmet of a head, of a face. And it seems to be silvery and shining brightly like polished steel or silver. And the face is a kind of like weird, distorted version of a human's face. But his entire head is encased in this silver helmet. And he appears to be calling the shots somehow. And at another look, a lot of the people walking around freely, not in robes or in the cages, are like weird, like half wolf hairy looking people or tiny people or tall people, like a kind of sideshow or freak show in the
Oh my god,
in the old world thing.
What are we going to do? I think the bearded lady first, and then maybe we can go and see the eyeball kid.
The eyeball kid.
I
I want to see the geek.
I'm at a loss right now. Can we listen in? Is it in hobgoblin?
You're sort of like safe distance right now, but not listenable or detailed distance.
I cup my ear and listen again.
Maybe
You hear the low pounding of the heart and heavy breathing of a pensive yet nervous Onas Undiri, who happens to be right next to you.
I did a pee-pee. Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah, it was a pensive pee-pee. Maybe we should go and check out the temple. Maybe there's a lot of activity going on over here. I don't think we can sneak about without getting detected.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of people in there, and the sort of the regular humans wearing the robes here are carrying things like kind of like a wooden cudgel with a sort of metal tip. So it's like a mace, but not as developed. Like a sort of more primitive mace, but still metal tipped with quite a punch.
A macette. Okay, that's good.
I'm gonna call it a cudgel.
That's the people in the wagon circle, right?
No, these are the people inside walking around freely in the robes. There's also all kinds of strange people in there too.
Bunch of freaks.
Yeah.
What are the animals? Can we see the animals?
You're not close enough to get a good look in the cages, but because it's kind of shadowy. It's getting nighttime now, and it's lit up by a central fire. But there are silhouetted figures in some of the cages. Yeah.
Should I get closer and see what's in the cages?
I
You
would
can
like
do-
you
do
to
you
get
wanna do a
close and do a
sneak?
listen.
And listen and see what's in the cages. I want to go up to. I'm gonna go up to
Yeah.
a cart that I see does not have many people in it or around it.
So you want to pick a cart near enough to you, but looks like there's not people around it or not too many people in it, and see if you can see in, right? So
Yes.
what's your move silently check again?
I believe it was an 8. Yes. It's
Yep,
an 8.
and under the cover of darkness with the fire going, you'd need to beat, let's say, 12 to succeed.
That's a 16 plus
Okay, you go stalking through the grasses until you reach the side of this circle, which, by the way, on the north side keeps you away from the rest of the town, the army tents and the town, because you're on the north side. You get close, and you pick one of the carts with a cage, which only seems to have like one shadowy figure in there and nobody around it. Mm-hmm. And you peek up and you look in, and you see a figure sort of just sitting in there with their sort of hands around their knees, looking really bored and sort of staring at and sort of really shaky and odd looking in a cold sweat. She's female. She's a winter elf like yourself, with sort of like short hair, and one side is put into lots of little braids that hang down. She's wearing leather armor. She's got a scabbard where a longsword would be. And she's sort of just like staring ahead, sort of shaking, half bored, half nervous, flop sweat and shaky hands. And there's just like really horrible, dirty straw and animal shit pieces all over the floor of this,
Hey.
She just stares ahead and doesn't appear to hear you at all.
Hey.
No answer.
All right, I'm gonna roll for whisper. I got a plus set. No.
You guys can't even see where he is. He kind of disappeared into the shadows.
RP Tawny.
You thought you saw a blink or a flicker, but at that moment, her shuddering becomes quite violent and then sort of subsides again, and she's really sweating, you can see, and like really out of it.
Hey, RP Tawny. Daddy's got your medicine.